Is there anyone like that? Okay, fine. So I hope everyone is good with the basics. We can go through it. Okay, before that, I have to ask you one question, one important question. Type one company name that you are interested to get a job with. A company name that you are aiming to get a job in that company. Everyone type a company for all the participants. So I have to know what your mindset is. One company, just one option. You can type a company name. Sir, I want to get a job in this company. TCS. Oh, good. So TCS only Rohit Dar. Anyone? Anyone else want at least some replies? Guys, Amazon. Wow, that's great. TCS, Amazon, yes. Some other options? Come on, guys. It's not a formal class. You can talk freely. But I could also know how many of them are understanding, right? So I'm asking Rohit Dar, right? So TCS results are published, right? So what happened? TCS. Your final years, right? I have to confirm that also. Current final years. It's like a one-way conversation. Someone reply, please. Because then only I can able to know that my audio is conveying the throughout the class. It's not lagging or something. If you are not replying means like my audio is lagging. The staff is present, right? So, ma'am, am I audible clearly?
Yes, sir.
So till now, what I have.
Yes, sir, you are audible properly.
Okay. So I'm expecting another some replies from students, but they are not replying. One sec, we'll check the participants. Hold on for a second. Co-host. Okay, so many students are present only. So why are not replying in the chat box? Not everyone is concentrating, or you just came to the class and doing some other things. Type an yes for a like a attendance. You will take an attendance now. Everyone who is in the meeting, type an S and send it in the chat box now. So who are all not typing, that means I can understand they are not listening, or they are not even plugging in the headphones. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's good. So okay, everyone is present at least 6, and everyone is knowing the basics of C programming. So we can start with the programming questions. So this is the question, right? This is the question here. I can move it here. Okay, this is the question, a programming question that I'm going to solve in C programming. given an integer array of length L, write a program to start the first k less than L length elements of this array in ascending and the remaining length minus k elements in the descending order. So it's a little bit confusing. I will go with the clear explanation. Yeah. Okay. So this will be the input for you guys. Like how many elements are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 elements are there, and the length of the array will be given here. So there are 8 elements. They will give it in the input as well. And another number like 4, 3, something within this less than 8, they will give a number. So if it's 4 means the first 4 elements should be in the ascending order and the next 4 elements should be in the descending order. So that's the problem. This is the length of the array. This is the these are the elements of the array, and the last element is that if a number is given like 4 means the first 4 elements should be in arranged in ascending order and the next 4 elements should be arranged in the descending order. So everyone understood the question? Type an S. Yes sir, understood. If not, type a no. No sir, I don't understand the question, so that I can explain it one more time. Repeats. Okay, Kolkata, I will repeat. Understood. Okay, fine. Okay, I'm repeating once again so that everyone could understand as well. So this is the input section. Okay, so 7, 43, 12, 4, 1, 3, 70, and 6. There are 8 elements in this, and this is the input section. They will give the arrays in the input. This is a function calling, so I hope everyone is well aware of the function. So this is a function calling. So they will give these 8 elements of the array in the input as well. Then a number 8, that is the length of the array. Then a number 4. If the number is given like 4 means there are 8 numbers. So the first 4 elements should be arranged in the ascending order. And the remaining elements, not the next 4, the remaining elements should be arranged in the descending order. So the number is 4, right? 7, 43, 12, 4. The first 4 numbers are arranged in ascending order: 4, 7, 12, and 43. So the next remaining elements are arranged in the descending order: 78, 6, 3, 1. It's like a pyramid. Okay, it goes up and it goes down. So see my, okay, one second. It's like a pyramid. Okay, it's a center line. The first of should be going up and the second of is coming down. It's ascending and it's descending order. It's the best I could arrange in a notepad, sorry, a whiteboard. So please adjust with that. Ascending order and descending order. It's the program. It's a simple program. I'll show you how to solve the programs. So I'm only good with C. So I'll solve it in a C programming as well. Okay, so this is another test case. Totally, there are 10 elements, 1 to 10. So the number of elements is already given. That's like 10. So this number of 5, like the first 5 elements should be arranged in ascending order: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the next 5 remaining elements, 6 to 10, is arranged in a descending order: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. So this is the question. Everyone understood now? Mukul Gupta. Do you understand now? Yes, type an S if you understood. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, fine. Everyone attended TCS, right? The NQT test. Is there anyone who got an offer letter from TCS in this group? Is there anyone who got an offer letter from the TCS from final years? Like someone said TCS, right? Rohit Dar. You said TCS, so we got an offer letter, or do you attend the NQT test? I would like to know. unmute yourself, Rohit Dar. There's nothing to hesitate. If you're free, you can tell me that what happened. Did you attend the NQT test so that I could help you with something? I attended, but due to server problem, I did not complete. Okay, that's fine. You should have mailed them, or from the college side, you could have addressed them that it's not my fault, it's a server issue. Even in my college, many of them undergone such problems, and we've sent a mail to the TCS that list of students they are not having, they had server issues, so they arranged another session for them. You could have done it. Okay, that's fine, and I hope in the next month or something there will be another NQT from TCS. Try and attend that, and I hope you can clear it as well. It was an easy one. So why I am saying that is that I have an offer letter from TCS. I got selected in the NQT and cleared the second round as well. Got the confirmation mail last week. So it was not a tough thing. Just you have to clear the first round, and the second round will be easy one. All the best, Rohit Dar. Okay, you can move on to the coding questions. It's already 12:20, 11:26. Okay. It's a function calling, but since I'm typing the coding myself, I will just solve the logic, share the logic with you. Tap. Okay. It's an online compiler, online GDB. It's most, I will type it in the chat box for your reference. Online GDB. Okay, it's an online compiler. If in any company, if they ask you to share your screen and they tell you to type a coding for a problem, mostly try to solve it in the GDB compiler. It's for C, C++, Python, Java, any language you want, you can type it in the GDB compiler because it's most user friendly. So it will be easy for you to provide the answer and mostly to identify the errors. It will be helpful. Online GDB. So how many of you are aware of skill rack? I'll type the spelling. Skill rack. Are you aware of that? Yes or no? Just type it in the chat box. I'm telling you to type because I have to confirm that everyone is listening, paying attention. No, okay. No. Okay, it's 11:30. At 12:30, I will tell you about it. Skill rack. Someone remind me like Deepak Jaiswal. Okay, so friend, you can remind me at exactly 12:30. Sir, you said something about skill rack, so I will explain it after 12:30. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Deepak. We'll go on for problem. So this is the online GDB compiler. I hope it's visible for you. If you open like type online GDB, the first link you should go in. A screen will be visible like this. It's more user friendly and you can identify the errors here easily. First, you can select the language, like all languages for the, I'm going with C programming. Okay. We've already typed the codings for this and I will teach you step by step. And as I already said, at any point, if you have a doubt, stop me right there. Sir, I have doubt in this line. You can see the lines here, the numbers here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can say sir, in line number 13 or 14, I have a doubt. I don't know why we are using that. So I don't know the logic. I can't understand means you can put it in the chat box. I will repeat it once again. How many times you can asking the doubt, I can repeat the same times as well. So that's no issues. Don't hesitate to ask doubts. If you hesitate to ask doubts, you cannot learn. Okay, we'll go with the coding. C programming. Okay. So as you already know, this is the header files. Ash include yesterday you would also it's a header file and the int main. So since an int main is written, we are using a return value. Even if you are not using the return value, it's okay with it. You know that, right? If you are using void main, we should not give a return value. But if you're using int main, we can give a return value. First, I am declaring integer variables, an array, a of 100 with the boundary condition 100. Then some other variables too. V, C, D, I, J. Okay. Okay. For every line, I will ask, okay, do you understand it? Just post it in the chat box. Yes, sir, we understood. Yes, sir, we understood. So I will came to know that if anyone is not understanding. So you know this, right? Declaring the variables. It's the data type integer. I'm having an array named A and boundary condition size of the array is 100 and some other variables. So why we are using these variables, I will explain to you in step by step. But initially we are declaring these variables. Understood? So yes, just type yes, not yes. I just type an yes and send it in the chat box. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. Kirtan Pradhan. Okay. Thank you for posting. Then for the question, came back to the question, what are all the inputs? An array, we should get an array, the size of an array, and then another variable like how many elements should be in increasing and how many elements should be in decreasing. So there are three inputs, an array input and two variable input. So since there are two variable inputs, we can have those variables as the first thing. So I'm giving a scan of. So 2% D because we are having two variables here. It's an ampersand B and an ampersand C. So we are having two variables. First variable is B and the second variable is C. And so I have typed 2% D and an ampersand. So this everyone is good with the syntax, I hope. Since you said you are all good with basics, so this is the syntax for a scanner, and I have scanned two variables B and C. Vice versa, we will do one other thing also. Okay, so I have declared two variables, right? B and C. So the values of the variable will be given by the input user. So what are the variables? 8 and 4, right? The 8 will be stored in B and the 4 will be stored in C as well. So the value of B will be 8 and C will be 4. So this is the meaning of the number 14. Everyone understood this line? And I don't need a like yes like that. Just type a simple yes like this. Okay, give a thumbs up. Yes. Okay, fine. So you're all good in C programming, I guess. Good in understanding. Okay, I'll tell you one important thing. The best way to solve most of the problems is a for loop. Okay, I'll type in the chat box. You can understand for loop. Okay, we can use it for most of the cases. We can solve most of the programming asked in your campus interviews using for loop itself. If you are good with for loop, you can solve any codings as well, and if conditions also. If condition and for loop. So you should be well good with that. Practice as much as possible for loop and if conditions. Because most of the codings I have done it when for loop and if condition as well. And TCS batches, we have acquired outputs for all the batches in our college, and I have done all the codings for them. It's fully based on for loop and if condition only. So it will be easy for you in the campus interview. So I'm not saying for the whole programming languages. It for the campus interview, you should be good with for loop and if condition. Okay. So we are going for a for loop here for I equal to 0, I less than b, and I plus plus. It's the condition. Wait, I will explain. Scanf percentage t, comma, ampersand I. Okay. So this is the for loop I'm using here. The for loop is initialization, as you already know. The first part is an initialization, the second part is a condition, and the third part is an increment or decrement operator. So why am I using that is that to get the inputs of the array elements, like the 743, these are the array elements. So we are going to give the input of the array elements. So guys, one thing, if anyone is thinking that I'm taking too slow or going too much in the details, you can tell me then and that, because as far as I teach the students, they don't know the basics, or they're lightly aware of the basics only. So I will teach each and every step clearly. So if you think that I'm good with basics, I know all these things, means we can go fast also. So what do you say? We can go faster, or this speed is okay? Yes or no? Even if you are doing one problem today, we can do it good. Or if you think you can cope up with me, we can do 2 or 3 codings also. So what do you say? Type in the message box. Sir, your speed is okay, or you could go much faster. So 1.5 minutes left. This speed is fine, sir. Okay, thank you, Kirtan Pradhan. Anyone else? I think you can go a bit faster. Deepak Jaiswal. Okay. Anything else? Okay, Deepak, it's okay. Is someone saying little faster? Okay, fine. We'll go a little faster. If you are not understanding me, you can stop me. As I also say, you can stop me right then and there. Already said. So far, I teach to students. They are not good with the basics, so that I had to go a little bit slower. Since you're all good in basics, we can go a bit faster. So this is the for loop for I equal to 0, I less than b. So why are I'm saying I less than b means the condition, the 8 is the number given in the condition. So there are only 8 elements. So why I'm not giving less than or equal to? I'm not writing less than or equal to. I'm writing only less than, because the array element starts with 0. I have given a condition like I equal to 0. So I'm using less than symbol, because starting from 0 to 7, there will be 8 numbers. So the 8 elements will be stored. Okay. Did you understand? Yes or no? Or I would like to repeat. Yes. Okay. So I already said there are 8 elements. So since I'm starting from 0, I'm going with less than symbol, not less than or equal to symbol. So less than b in this condition, then the scan of elements percentage d, since it's an integer, I'm using percentage d, and the ampersand a of I. So initially the I value will be 0. So the first element will be stored in a of 0, the second element and the third element as well in the increasing order. Like if this is the a, this is how the array is separated: a of 0, 1, 2, and dot dot dot. So the first element will be stored in a of 0, for example 8, the second element and the third element and the fourth element in the current order. When the number comes to 8, the loop will be breaked, because we have given that the condition I less than b. So the loop will be breaked when the number gets 8. So only 8 times it will be, the loop will run starting from 0. When the value of I is 8, the loop will be breaked and the scan of it will come out of the loop. Understood? So why I'm not using flower brackets in this line in the for loop? Because it's only a single statement I'm giving for the for loop here. In line number 15, I'm giving the for loop, and in line number 16, only a single statement is there. So for a single statement, we should not have to give the flower brackets. If I'm going for 2 or more lines, I have to give the flower brackets. That's why I have not used curly brackets here. Okay, understand? Yes or no? This for loop. How many of you understood this for loop? I am getting the values from the user. Yes, Ketan, good. Yes, 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 sir. Okay, good. If anyone don't understand, you can tell me as well. So this is the for loop I'm using for getting the values of the array. This is much important, guys. If anyone want to take a screenshot or write it as well. In most of the campus codings, you will use this loop. They will give an array, and you should know how to get the value of array and store it in the correct order. So this loop is an important one. You will be using in number of times in the campus interviews. So be concentrate on these 2 lines. Okay, it's much important. So we can go for the next line. So now the values of the arrays are stored. The value of A is now stored. We can go for the next line of codings. So again, I'm is a for loop. I equal to 0, I less than B minus C, I plus plus. And then another for loop for J equal to I plus 1, J less than B minus C, J plus plus. So it's B. If you want, you can note it down, or you can take a screenshot at last. Okay, first I will explain these 2 for loops. Again, I'm initializing I equal to 0 because I already stored the value of I is now not worth in this loop. So I can again start with the I itself for I equal to 0 initialization. I less than B minus C. So why I'm giving B minus C means, see in this question, they're asking the first 4 elements should be arranged. First, we will take the first part. The first 4 elements should be arranged in the increasing order. So yeah, increasing order. So we are first taking the first 4 elements only. So how many of you know the coding for ascending and descending order? If yes, type an S. Coding, C programming or any programming for ascending and descending order. If no, type no. Yes, Deepak Kishore. Yes, yes. Wow. You're far from good. Guys are awesome. Yes. Okay. Bright students. Okay, then it's easy for me to explain. We can move ahead. So that's why initializing I equal to 0, I less than B minus C means the value of B and C, as you can see, 8 and 4, 8 minus 4, the first 4 elements. 8 minus 4 means the first 4 elements will be taken here for this loop, and we are incrementing it I plus plus. For J equal to I plus 1, as you all know the C program for ascending and descending order. So I plus 1, why I'm giving means the next element, I have to check it. For example, the first element is 1 and the second element is 2 means I have to count the first and the second. So if this is I have to check the next element. So this is I plus 1th element. So that's why I'm taking this loop as J equal to I plus 1 and J less than B minus C, the same condition and the same increment operator. So this is how the loop works. So do you understand? Yes or no? Type it in the chat box. Yes. Okay, so since you know the coding for ascending descending order, so this is the thing we will use in the loop. I'm declaring another variable d here, and the d equal to a of I, the initial element, and wait, 1 sec. I missed a condition, sorry. F a of I greater than j. So this is the condition. Since we have to arrange in the ascending order, I'm using this symbol, greater than symbol. So it's just an like a swapping of two numbers. It's so simple. If it's greater, it will, I'm assigning an another variable d. It will take its value and the values will be interchanged. Like I will explain. If the values are like 1 and 2, if 1 is less than 2, for example, I'm just telling you the logic. If 1 is less than 2, I will assign a d equal to like 1 and 1 equal to 2 and another 2 equal to d's, like this. This is a simple logic. The variables will be interchanged and the final output will be like 2 1. So since you know the ascending descending order, so this is the logic that's happening here. It's just swapping of two numbers, the basic coding, swapping of two numbers. So that's what it is. Understood, or I should I explain again? That's swapping of two numbers here. Was hold on for 1 sec, sorry. Okay, sorry students, it's just a call. So this swapping of two numbers, the variables are just interchanged. If it's greater, the position of the variables will be interchanged. So that's what this loop, that's how this loop works. So understood? Or do you need another explanation? Good, understood. Okay, fine students. So this is how the loop works. If the number is greater, it will just swap again. So you can go for the next loop. Next loop is the same loop like this. For I equal to 0, sorry, b minus c, I less than b, I plus plus. So just concentrate on this loop as well. The conditions are important, students. So that's what the main case is. What are the initializations and the conditions you are giving the for loop? It's much more important. So be clear what the conditions you are giving. And the increment and decrement operator is also good. The same condition we are using here also. Just the same logic. So see here, friends. So this is another loop for the remaining elements. So for example, we have gone through the first 4 elements. So there should be a remaining 4 elements. So we are initializing like I equal to b minus c, the initial elements. The like I equal to b minus c means already there will be an number 8, 8 minus 4. So 4. It's not like the fourth element of this thing. If like it's the fourth element means you will start from here. But since we are in the array, we are given like 0, 1, 2, 3. The fourth element is number 1. Okay, do you understand? Sorry, I'm 1 sec. Okay, for like if I'm giving the condition 8 minus 4 for the second loop. For if the output will be 4. If the fourth element means that it should be like the number 4. But in the array, we started from the number 0. See here, so we initialize like from 0. So if the fourth element means actual fifth element. What's that? Okay, actual fifth element. So since we are starting from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So for the fourth element, it's the actual fifth element. So that's why I have initialized I equal to b minus c, and the same condition I less than b, because the same logic. I have started from 0, so less than b is the condition. The same condition like I used in the number line 15. The same condition I have used here also, and an increment operator. So do you understand it, or I'm confusing? If you think am I confusing, you can tell that as well. Sorry, you're a bit confusing. Or if you understood, just understood. Thank you. Okay. So this is the condition here, the initialization and the condition and the increment operator. And for like the same condition for this for loop, I'm giving here the next element I plus 1 and less than the same condition and the increment operator. This is the common logic for the ascending and descending orders. Only the symbol will change here. This symbol or this symbol, only the symbols will change. Everything is as like the previous loop. So it will be easy to understand. So concentrate on this loop, because for any coding, the basic codings will be like 14 codings. You already know the Fibonacci series, ascending, descending orders, like that only. So if you know that logic, the bigger problems will be easy. So the logic is same as the previous loop. Can you the only the condition changes. So other than that, it's the same loop. We can go for the final output equal to C I less than B I plus plus. So I'm doing printf percentage d space of I. So it's another for loop. I have initialized 0. If you initialize the starting number as 1 in the number line 15, I mean for the first time, you should use the number 1 in all the cases for the initialization. Since I have initialized from 0, I have used 0 here also, and the same condition I less than b and I plus plus. Only the difference is that I'm printing the elements in the array. I'm just printing the elements in the array. Okay, in the line number 42, I'm not doing any other things. I have already done in the two loops. So for the first loop here, I have arranged the elements in the increasing order, and the second loop here, I have arranged in the decreasing order. It's just a matter of this condition only. The for loop conditions only matters. Other than that, it's a very simple coding. So for line number 41 and 42, just I'm giving a for loop, and I'm printing the, I'm just printing the array. Okay, we'll try to run that. If any errors, I will buy it. Okay, we will give the input as 8 and a 4. The students, I have given initially 8. So there are 8 numbers in the array, and the 4 means the first 4 elements should be in the increasing, and the remaining elements should be in the decreasing order. So I have given 8 elements in the array. So see here, 2, 4, 6, and 7. The first 4 elements are arranged in the increasing order, and the remaining 4 elements 9, 8, 5, 1 are arranged in the decreasing order. So this is how this code works. It's simple. I will give a quick recap. Just I'm initializing the variables I have declared initially. Then I'm taking input for the variables. Then I'm giving a for loop for taking variables of the array. Then a first loop for the increasing orders, and the second loop for the decreasing order. It's an ascending order coding and the descending order coding. So that's it. That's simple. Just you have to know this is the conditions. What are the conditions I'm giving so that I could run this program simply. So this is the final output. Everyone understood this coding? Any doubts in the any part that I would like to, that you would like to reteach? If understood, just give understood. Okay, sir, I understood this coding, so that we can move forward to the next program. Sir, could we just use I equal to C instead of using B minus C? Okay, that's a good doubt, Deepak Jaiswal. Okay, I will explain that. One second, Deepak. Yes, we could use it like that as well. Deepak Jaiswal. Yeah, that's what we can in here, right? B minus C. You can also use that C as well. That's not an issue. Yes, Deepak Jaiswal. Yes, you can use I less than equal to C instead of B. Yes, you can use that. I equal to C. That's no issues. Okay, any other doubts? So everyone understood except Deepak and Kirtan Pradhan. What about everyone? You understood this program? I think we must say will work only then C is half of B. Yeah, that's right. Deepak Jaiswal, yeah, that's right. Just now I thought of it. Yes, it only work in its half of B. So if it's not, we should say in the condition like I equal to C. Yeah, that's a good thing. Thanks for clarifying that, Deepak. Thank you. So students, shall we move on to next program? Okay. Okay, we'll move on to next. Okay, just a 3 minutes gap. We will start at exactly 12. Okay, just give me 3 minutes. Okay, friends, I can continue for the next session. We'll see another program. So before that, Deepak Jaiswal. So I thank you for clarifying that. I wanted to say that this is my first class, so I'm just giving as much as possible. And this is my idea. That's the thing here. The coding I'm writing here is the thing I coded. So there may be mistakes, like there may be some mistakes. There are a lot of ways to solve a single problem. It's not a single way. Okay, yes, no problem, sir. Okay, thank you. So that's not a single way to solve one. There are many ways, and it's only your mindset. So when I write this coding, it's my thought. So when you write solve the same problem, you could have another thoughts as well and solve it in a, you could solve it in a simpler way also, so in a different manner. So that's according to your mindsets, your thoughts. So what I am I solving is that what I thought of. So that's what I'm doing here. And once again, thank you, Deepak, so that I cannot repeat it in the next classes. So we can move on to the next coding, right? Slide number 8. So this is one of a like pattern printing problem. So that's the question. The input will only be a number like 3 or 4, like that. Only one number will be given as the input, and the pattern should be printed like this. I'll zoom it. So like this. If 3 is given means there should be 3 columns, but there should be 4 rows. Okay. So 1, 2, and 3. The thing should be in the middle. You can understand the pattern while seeing it also. It's hard to explain, but while seeing you could understand it easily. The given number is 3 means 1, 2, 3. In the middle row, it should be like in the increasing order 1, 2, 3, and the surrounding elements should be the value given by the user. So if it's like 4 means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows and 5 columns. So you may ask that here if it's 3, only 3 columns, why here is 5 columns extra, 1 column means it's an odd number. The given input 3 is an odd number. So the pattern will be it will have a middle column, right? If it's odd means we can if we separate that, it will have a middle column. But if it's even number, we will not have a middle column. So we'll increase one another column, like 5 columns and 5 rows. 3, 4, 5. Okay, it should be in the odd number columns we should have. Okay, so everyone understood the problem. What should we do? Yes. Mukul Gupta. Understood? Yes, sir. Okay. Paying attention. Thank you. Sir, could you explain it once again? Yes, I will. Kitan Pradhan. Yes, I will. So, everyone, listen once again. The input will be like a single number, like 3 or 4 or 5, whatever it is. It will be a single number. If the number is given, we should print the output like this in this format. Like the surrounding numbers should be the number given by the user. If it's 3 means the surrounding number should be 3. And in the middle column, right? In the middle column, after the first row, it should be increasing 1, 2, 3 till it attaining the number given by the user. So here it is 4. If an even number means like, wait, I will explain. If it's an odd column, odd number 1, 2, 3. If we come, there will be a middle column like 2. 1, 3 means there will be a middle column. But if it's like a even number 4 means there will be no middle column. For 2, here will be 2. So there will be a no middle column. So for that we will be increasing +1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it's an even number means only if it's an even number, we'll increase 1 extra one number of columns so that we could have a middle column. For it's if it's an odd number means like the given number itself is 5 means it's no issues. We could have a 5 columns as well. But if it's an odd number, we should increase the one number of columns. So you understand it then, Pradhan? Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. So this is the case. If it's an even number, one column should be increased. If it's an odd number, that's not an issue. So this is the pattern they wanted to print. I'm separating it into two sectors, like even for this coding, for this pattern. The first row is a single sector and the remaining coding is another sector. So why am I doing that is that so that I could start from 1 here. So I will increment in the next steps. But if I start from 3, I should add another conditions, like the code will go much bigger. So what I have done is I have separated the first line separately and the remaining line separately so that I could get the correct output simple as possible. Okay, so I'll start the coding. So as I already did, I'm initializing that variables I have needed, A, B, C, I, and J. So since I already wrote the coding, I know what are the variables I have to declare. So that's why I'm declaring initial itself. So in this coding, only one input will be given by the user. So I'm getting only one inputs. Scanf %t, comma, ampersand. Okay. So this is the scanf format. I'm getting one input from the user. Like we will store it here. Like now I've gotten a input from the user like a equal to 3. So the input is stored in A. So for the next line, B equal to A. So I'm assigning another variable B and I'm giving it in A. One sec, students. Okay. So I'm giving in another variable B and I'm storing it in A. So now B is also equal to 3, right? So the next coding is if A %2 equal to 0, A equal to A plus 1. Okay. So if it's an even number, this condition you can understand by percentage means it will print the remainder. So if it's an even number, the remainder will be 0. So as I already said, if it's an even number, we should add one more column. So if it's an even number, the value of A will change, increase by 1. For example, if the initial input is A equal to 4, now B is also equal to 4. Then if it's an even number, so now the A value will be 5, not 4. Okay, so that's why I'm initializing B equal to A, because we need the value of A. So if it's incremented means the value of A will be lost. So I'm initially saving the variable A in another variable B, because to store the value of A. So understood, students? Or am I confusing? If it's, I will explain one more time. If it's an even number, I already said the number of columns will increase by 1. So I have to use this condition, like if it's an even number, an incremented value. But I also need this value also, so that I have stored a value of A in another variable B, so that I could use it for further use. If I have not stored this value means the value of A will be now 5. So I like here we have to use more number of the number 4, the given input by the user. So I need this value to be stored somewhere so that I could use it in the programming. So that what I have did that I have stored it in the value B if it's not, if in case the value of A is changed. Okay, understood, students? Okay. 1 sec. Okay. Understood. Okay, thank you, Captain. Understood. So I'm giving another condition here. I will explain it later. A by 2. Sorry. Plus 1. So I'm giving condition like C equal to A by 2 plus 1. Why am I giving that? I will explain to you. So what is the value of C now means? A by 2 plus 1. So like for here A equal to 3. 3 by 2 means we'll get 1, and 1 plus 1 equal to C equal to here 2. And here the value of A will be 5. 5 by 2 plus 1 means C equal to 3. Okay. So this is just a simple math. Why am I doing that? I will explain to you in further steps. Okay. So we'll go for a for loop here. For I equal to 0, I am initializing I equal to 0, then I less than 1. So why am I giving I less than 1 means? I already said I am splitting this coding into 2 parts. So this part is only for the first line. So I need only one row, so that I am giving I less than 1. So it will be executing only one row, I plus plus. And I am giving another for loop for the column. So the for loop on the line number 19 is for row, and the for loop on line number 21 is for columns. So this is how you should print a pattern printing. So if like a rectangular pattern, square pattern, triangular pattern, whatever pattern you are given, you should use 2 for loops, so that one for loop indicates the row and the other for loop indicates the number of columns. J less than A, J plus plus. Printf, I'm giving percentage T, comma B. Okay, so friends, this is why I stored the B in the first place, so that even if the value of A is changed, the value given by the user will be stored here, so that I could use it now. So we are running it for the first row, like I'm given 4 means. So I'm getting a 1 row but 5 columns of 4. So here the first row is completed. The first part of the coding is completed, and we are going to write coding for this second part separately, so that it's not a clash. Okay, if I'm writing total coding in a single for loop means it will be a clash, like I have to use more number of variables. But for this it will be a simple thing as far as I thought. Okay, so what I am going to do is I'm going to print as you all know, a new line, because once the line is completed we have to go to the next line. So I'm printing a new line here. This coding is over, so we have to write coding for the next 4 lines, or here the next 3 lines. You could move on. So I'm using another for loop. As I always said, I'm always do coding in a for loop, so that's why I'm doing I equal to 1, I less than or equal to B, I plus plus. So another for loop for J equal to 1, J less than or equal to B, J plus plus. Okay, so why I'm giving a value like instead of 0, so why I'm giving 1 here is that, see, in this coding we need a value like 1, 2, 3 and 4 in the increment order. So if I initialize the I value like 1, 2 or I value from the 1, I could use it in the coding as well. See, the first part of the coding is over. So for the second part, this is the first row for the second part. So for the first row, I have initialized 1 means I can use the value directly. or else I should assign another variable like d or e and assign the value to it. So instead of that work, I am given like for the first row I'm giving 1, for the second row I'm giving 2. So I could use the value of I itself here. So that's why I'm using I equal to 1 and less than or equal to symbol I'm using. So understood? The same way is that in the second loop also. Everyone understood? Just give a yes or no in the chat box. Deepak is yes, okay. I have to clarify one thing. If you think I'm boring, just type a boring or something in the chat box. Said you are too boring or you're not good enough, like that, anything. If you have like the thoughts, I will not get more negative by that. I'll change it the next time. So that's why I'm asking. If you think I'm boring, you can type it in the chat box. Sir, you are a little boring or you're too boring, whatever you want. So I'm giving a condition if j equal to c, printf percentage %t, comma I, else printf percentage %t, comma b. Okay, friends. So this was the important part in this coding. From line number 29 to 32 is the important condition I have given in the code. So I already said, I will say in the further steps why I'm using the C. Why am I using that C? Because I have to find the middle column. So that's why I'm using the value of C. Wait one second. Okay. For number 3, the 1, 2, 3, the middle column is 2, right? So the value of C is 2 here. So to find out the middle column, I have write a simple mathematical equation to find out the middle column. So that's why I have used a C here. C equal to a by 2 plus 1. So this plus 1 because to find the middle column. So however, after this step, it's gonna be an odd number. Even if it's an even number, I have changed it to an odd number here. So for an odd number to find the middle column is this mathematical equation. So a by 2 means I will get the quotient and plus 1 will get the middle column. So that I could use a see students here. For this, I have to find the middle column. For this also, I have to find the middle column so that I could print the increment order only in the middle column itself. So that only I have used a C here. So everyone understand why I'm using a C here? Yes. Just type in S. Or no, if you can type no or explain once again, sir. I will explain it again. In simple, I have used this C just to find the middle column of the program. I mean the pattern printing. To find the middle column, I have used a C here. So this for the condition I already said, I'm giving a 1 less than or equal to B because as I already printed the first row, the remaining rows will be equal to the initial value of A. So like I have already printed the first row here. So if the number is given number is 3 means I have to print remaining 3 rows. And if the given number is 4 means I have to print remaining 4 rows. So that's why I'm giving here the condition less than or equal to B. Okay. So under here it's not a B, it's an A. So why I'm giving an A means, as you could see for this, the value of A will remain same for an odd number. So I will have to print remaining 3 rows and 3 columns. But in this case, the value of A will change. I have to print, leave the first row, guys. So since I've already printed the first row, leave that first row. We have to print 4 rows, but we have to print 5 columns. So the value will change for the even number. So that's why I have changed the condition like for the row column, I have given the condition as B, but for the column, I have given the condition as A. So this was the condition. As I already said, the condition is the most important thing you should look back in the coding so that you could get your output in a proper manner. If any error occurs that you could not find in the programming, means most of the error will be in the condition you are giving. So mostly try to give a right condition. Okay, guys. So what here it's stating means if j equal to c. So as you already know, if I give two equal to symbol means it's called comparing. So if this value equal to this, we are comparing and seeing the values. So I think I don't have to explain these things much detail. So if j equal to c means if the value of j is equal to the value of c. Why I'm giving that is that only the middle column we have to print the increasing order. So for the remaining columns, we have to print only the given value. Only for the middle column, we have to print the increasing order. So what I'm doing here is that if j equal to c, if the column is the middle column, I is for rows and j is for columns, guys. So if the given column is a middle column, print the value of I for like for the first row, the value will be 1. For the second row, the value of I will be 2. So that's why I have initialized I equal to 1. So else print of the value of B. I have initialized B equal to A. So these are the simple things like B equal to the 15th line, the 18th line, or simple mathematical things, but we have to use for the programming or quicker runtime. I will tell you what's that is. So else the print of B, else printing the value of this. So we are running the coding, no errors. So for number 4, wait one sec. Sorry, we have to print a new line here after the column is over. Print of again. Okay, we'll run that coding again. No errors and yes, we got the output. So for the first line here, the coding is this part. Okay, only this part, the first line is executed, and for this part, the second line is executed. For the middle increasing elements, we are using if this condition, and the remaining elements we are using these else conditions. So do you understand this coding? Just give me a yes if you understand the logic of this program, or give me a no if you don't understand it. Yes, yes. So when did I send it? 23. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Thank you for this reply. So as you already said, one sec. As I already said, this is my idea for solving this program. So when you solve yourself, you could have a like a different idea for solving these programs, even the simpler ideas. So if you want, first I want to share one thing. Like if you want to go for a company like TCS, CTS, Wipro, Infosys, like that, you just have to solve the program. So that is enough to get into the company. Program is coding like this. So they're asking you to solve the coding. Just write some codings to solve the program. That is far than good for them to hire you. But in a higher companies, like someone said in Amazon, like so for bigger companies, not only solving a coding is not enough, but the runtime is much enough, much important. Okay, so what I'm trying to convey is that for a coding, if a student is writing 37 lines, I have written a 37 line coding to solve a problem, but you could write the same problem solving coding in like 25 lines or 30 lines, you are much eligible than the other candidate. But in companies like TCS or CTS, it's not important. They only want you to solve the coding for them. But in higher companies, when you go for higher packages, they will see how fast you can solve a coding and how simple you could solve a coding. So try to be more simple in that. And you could think a lot of things to solve a program. As I already said, it's only up to your thoughts is your limits. So no one is your limits. How quickly you can solve a program and how shortly you can solve it. For example, if you want to find a prime number, so if you want to find a prime number, you have to write a coding. So if this is the question, means you don't have to run the loop for the entire runtime. For example, 1 second. If they ask you to find programming for the prime number, means like the given number is 13, so you don't have to run the for loop for 13 times like that. Okay, you just have to run it divided by 2, like 6. You should check only within 6 integers, so that after this there is no possibility that it will be divisible that by that number. Okay, so do you get my point? For example, if number is 18, means 9 is the maximum number that could divide 18, because 9 2s are 18, and no other, there is no other go, like 10 or 11, there will be no possibility. So for a student who is running this loop like 18 times the for loop is not like student who is running 9 times this loop is more for eligible. Okay, so this is called a runtime. If a student is running 18 times a loop, but you can solve it by using only 9 times by running a loop, means you are far more eligible than him, but both of you can solve a problem. But how quickly can I solve a problem is also more important. So give importance to that also if you are going for higher packages. But if you are going for an average package, it doesn't matter, you only want to solve a coding. So that's it for this problem. So these are the simple things. Yeah, one message. Sir, you are going to tell about skill track. Yeah, guys. Thanks for reminding Deepak Jaiswal. Okay, thank you. Okay, so far any doubts, students? Any doubts that you're gonna asking? Okay, it's 12:28 now. What we'll do is that we will see another programming, a simple programming for like 10 to 15 minutes. Within that, I will complete that programming. It's a simple thing. Then we will have an interactive session for another 10 minutes. So I will explain this skill track there after like 12:40 or something. After completing this coding, I already completed 2 programmings. So after completing the third program, we can go for a like interactive session. You can ask me questions, and I will tell you about skill track also. Okay, we'll move on to the next question. That's a simple one. One second. Okay, we'll go for this programming. Okay, so this is the question, guys. There will be 2 inputs from the user, like a number and a starting number. So what we have to do is that if the number is given like 4, means there should be 8 rows, 2 into n lines. Okay, so the number given is 4, means we have to print 8 rows. The starting number should be 3. So 3, 4, 5, 6. It should be in an increasing order. Then starting from this, we should decrease the value 6, 5, 4, 3. So that's what we should do in this question. So everyone understood the question? Totally the n into 2 number of rows. So if the number is 4, means 8 rows. If the number is 5, means 10 rows. This is the starting number. That should be the ending number as well. It should be in the increasing order for the first half and should be in the decreasing order for the second half. So we'll write a coding for this question. Okay, right, number 13. That's a simple one. So as we already do, we should declare variables first. Scan. So there should be two inputs from the user. So I have given A and B as the input. So that's simple. I'm using a for loop again here. The value equal to 1 and I less than or equal to A. So it's a simple logic. If you use a 0 here, you should use the less than symbol. If you use a 1 here, you should use less than equal to symbol. So for most of the programs, this is the case. I'm using another for loop because as it is said, if you're given a pattern printing, most of the companies will give you pattern printing or array logic only. So be strong in both of the cases. This is a pattern printing. So I have to give a pattern for a row and also a column as well. J less than I, J plus plus. So why I'm giving 1 here is that, see for here, for the first row, only one element should be printed. For the second row, 2 elements. For the third row, 3. And for the fourth row, there should be 4 elements. It should be in the increasing order. So if I stated I equal to 1 here itself means I can give a condition like j less than or j less than I. So it's a single step. If I initialize like I equal to 0 means I should declare another variable like int and d equal to 1. And here I should give a condition like j less than d. So it's an another step and an unwanted thing like that. So be more thinking. Okay, so what are the things you can use within a coding? Make use of that. So I have a I here, so I use that I in the second for loop as the condition. So that's the case here. J equal to 0, I have initialized it. Then j less than I, this is the condition, and j plus plus is an increment operator. So what I'm gonna do is printf percentage d comma b, the value of b given by the user. So I have to give two conditions here, b plus plus, because the value should be increasing, and a new line. So this was the first part of the coding. Sorry. Okay. So what I have done is I have initialized the variables. I have taken an input as the a and b, and I have sent two for loops. I equal to 1 is the initialization. Why I have given 1 is that I can use it for further use, and this is the condition less than or equal to and I plus plus. The given number is 4 means the first, this is the coding for the first 4 lines. That's why I have given I less than or equal to a. So it will be increasing. It will be running for 4 times this loop. This is the row loop and this is the column loop. So j equal to 0 less than I is the condition, j plus plus. So for the first loop, it will be running 1 time. For the second loop, it will be running 2 times. Third loop, 3 times. So it will be increasing as per the value of I. So we are running it for the first part, no errors for like giving a number 4 and a number 3 means there is the first part. So if I give given a number 4 means there are 4 rows. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 4 rows, and the starting number is 3. It is increasing because I have given b plus plus. And the most important case here, boys, friends, and b plus plus I given outside the column loop. If I give b plus plus here itself means the value will change here itself, like 3, 4, 5. Here itself it will change. So we have to give the b plus plus increment operator outside the column loop. So it will change only for the next loop, only one time in a loop. So that's why I'm giving b plus plus outside the operator. These are the simple things, but you should concentrate for not having errors. So first loop is over. We are going for the second loop. It's simple. So first we have 4 elements. So the first initialization will be a, sorry, a, and I greater than 0. Most important thing is that here we should use decrement operator. So if you use an increment operator, it will run an infinite number of times. So the conditions are important, as I already said. We should give an increment operator, sorry, decrement operator, not an increment operator. So be careful in the conditions you are giving. I have decreasing the value here itself. This is why maybe You should ask why should I have decreasing here itself. Here I have incrementing outside the column, but here I have decreasing before the column starts, because for the first time the value is 3, right guys? For one second, I will give you a clear explanation. For the first time, the value of b will be 3, and it will run in a loop, and it will become 4 and print it in this case. Then it will become 5 and print here. Then it will become 6. After 6, it will increment one more time, because it is not getting out of the loop before that. Only after checking this condition, it is getting out of the loop. So it will already increment one more time. So now the value of b will be 7, not 6. So that's why I have decreasing before itself, because in the coding we should have 6 here, the same number as above. So if I not giving it here means the value will be 7, not 6. So that's why I'm giving the value beforehand. After that, we have to open the next loop for j equal to 0, j less than I, and j plus plus. Then we don't need a flower brackets as well, because it's a single line coding. Percentage t. B. Then we have to print a new line. It's the same code, same logic as above, but in a reverse order. So that's the only thing here. Like if I give in a value means, so this is the output: 3, 4, 5, 6, and a 6, 5, 4, 3. It's in the increasing order and it's a decreasing order. It's a simple coding. Only thing you have to keep in the mind is that, so the number of rows and the number of columns for the first part, and as well as vice versa for the second part. So how should be increased and where should be increased? So the increment order, increment thing I have placed here, and the decrement order I have placed here is much more important. So if I place this inside this loop, it will not run as expected, and this too. Okay, so this is the coding for you guys. Any doubt in that, or do you understand? Means give a yes. If any doubt, you can ask by mentioning the line number. I will teach once again. Guys, do you understand? Deepak Jaiswal, Mukul Gupta, Kirtan Pradhan. So everyone understood this program. It's an easy thing. Yes, sir, understood. Done, sir. Okay, thank you. Okay, I taught 3 programs. So I hope it's 3 programs. Like, that's good. Okay, can you do me a favor? I'll show one question for you. So please note it down or take a screenshot so that you could practice. I'll show which question you are gonna solve. So just type a message in the chat box that you want an easy one or a tough one. Actually, I found some questions tough for me, so I'll give you that so that you could practice for the tough ones. Or sir, we need an average or like normal problems. I could also give you that, because I don't know whether I'm going to take class for you next time. Okay, I will give you a question here. Just note it down, or you could take a screenshot. It's one of good problems I have. It's an easy thing. I will explain just the question. This is the question. So take a screenshot or note it down. It's simple. You can note it down as well. This is the question. If n equal to 6 means this is the pattern, and the sun so on is not I think should be printed. Only the thing present from 1 to 6 should be present if the number 6 is given. So simple, just note it down or take a screenshot. Try solving it in your programming languages, whatever you are aware of. If you copied it, just type a message, copied or yes or something in the chat box, so that we could share about other things. Copied. Deepak Jaiswal. Done. Okay. So this is also a okay. So this is also the same thing. It helps you with the test cases. So if you want, note it this as well. Test case 1, test case 2 for different numbers. This is for like number 4. This is for number 2. If your input is given as 2, the output should be like this. If the input is given as 4, the output should be like this. This is 2 test cases. Copied. Done. Okay. Okay, we'll having another like 18 minutes for the class. So let's get it something interactive for the next 18 minutes. I'm not going to take class for the next 18 minutes. Just I'll share information, what are the informations that I know, and ask your opinions too. So for the first thing, give any feedback about my class. If it's on worst, just you can type it as worst. Don't think that as a bad thing, so that I can correct myself. Sir, you're done a worst job, or you're good or average. You should develop whatever the comments you can give, but please everyone try to make at least one comment. Everyone, Kritan Pradhan, Mukul Gupta, Deepak Jaiswal, Aditya Chari, at least 5 to 6 students are replying for everything. Reply for this as well. So how did the class went? You should reply for honest, okay? So not for namesake, you should just say, okay, good, average, like that. What's your exact thought? Just type it in the chat box so that I could develop myself for the next time. So first class, it was fine, sir. We appreciate your effort. Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Kitan Pradhan, thank you for your feedback. It was good. Anyone else? Mukul Gupta, Deepak Jaiswal, Aditya Chetri. It was nice. Everything you taught was easy to understand. Wow. Thank you. Any other, like, any 2 more comments I'm expecting? Aditya Chetri, like from Deepak Jaiswal and Aditya Chetri, I replied, right? Okay. Aditya Chetri, thank you for your feedback. Mukul Gupta. So many students were there, right? With all due respect, sir, if you could use variables with meaningful names, it would be easier. Yeah, thank you. That was a good thing. I will try to do it for the next time, because it's just I have written the codings for my understandings. So next time I will correct it for your understandings. Thank you, Ketan Pradhan. That was a good feedback. Variables with meaningful names. Yeah, that's right. I should have thought of it, but my bad. I'll correct it next time. Thank you. Okay, so okay, thank you, Ketan Pradhan. Chat box. I'll just say about a skill track, right? So note it down. This is an online GDP. So if you wanna work in the online, it's an online compiler. So skill track is that. It's I hope it's not up for now. It's not up to level of your students because you are too good. It's like online coding website. This is the page. You can type skill track. You can go for the skill track. Login. You should create an if you don't have an account, it's just an mail ID and password. So you could create your account for yourself as well. So your login ID. So just if you're a new user, just give a new user and register. This is the page for skill track. So this is where I learn my coding. As I already said, I'm a mechanical engineer, so I don't know even for a simple thing about coding for the last year. So I started solving here in the skill track from basics. It will be for starting from basics. Go here for programming. Then programming tracks, I have solved 322 programs. So if for beginners who want to start from the beginning, you can start here, like a kickstart for absolute beginners. This is the basic thing. It contains 100 programs. It's for free. Okay, it's not for cash, for only for this 100 programs. And I have no like use in what do you say? Maybe you could think if I suggest that I will get something from that. It's not like that. It's I will get nothing from this by suggesting this website, but I thought it could be helpful for me. It was helpful for me, so I'm suggesting it. It's for 100 programs. You could solve like if you go there, there will be 100 programs for you. It will be very easy programs. Okay, so I completed all this. So it will be a very easy, like 25 programs here, 40 programs here. If you think it's not up to your level, then go to the same link, programming tracks. These are the C beginner tracks, Java, Python, every language is here. So these are all C topic wise practice tracks. It's little difficult programs. Array concepts and string functions are a little difficult one. So you can, but you have to pay like 100 or 200 for something to use that. It's if you think it will be very useful, but if you pay money and use this regularly, it will be very useful for you. I really guarantee that to you. So if you want, you can buy it with your card and you can use it for like array programs, string programs. It will all be a little difficult ones, so you can practice it from here. So this is what a skill track is. This is where people learn coding from basics to an a good level for an interview. So this is a skill track thing. Okay, so I've got another 10 minutes. So do you have any questions to ask to me? Any questions? You can type it, don't hesitate. How could I ask you? Not like that. Whatever questions you want to ask, you can ask here. Even it's like apart from the studies also, you could ask. We got 10 minutes here, so I can't be idle for the next 10 minutes. So any questions, Kitan or Deepak, Jaiswal, any questions you want to ask me? You can ask now. Or any information you do want to know about something or some companies, what all we can do to get placed like that. Also, you could ask. So someone was typing something. No one? At least one question, sir. How was your interview for Wipro, sir? Yeah, that's the thing that I didn't attend the interview for Wipro. They said mechanical is not eligible for Wipro, mechanical engineering. We cannot attend the interview. They said only ECSC, IT, and circuital companies were eligible for Wipro interviews. So I didn't attend the Wipro interview. What are the first? I want to clarify one thing. I'm maybe you could have already known or don't know. I'm a final year student as well. So you could have called me sir like that. So that's what this my level is. I'm from Pondicherry in Rajiv Gandhi College. Final year mechanical engineering. Current final year. Okay, so I'm current final year mechanical engineering student. Why I think I'm eligible to. You may think that you're also final year. So how can you take the class for my class for my college? IT EC, every department is present, but only I gave the code for everyone for TCS. So for any department, every department, I typed the coding for them. I got the output for them. So TCS, most in my college, in the first round, 94 of them were selected for the final interview in TCS. Until now, 7 got placed in TCS. So I'm one of them. I got an offer letter from last week in TCS. So that's what, sir, what were the entry questions for the TCS? Yeah, that's fully my core, since I'm from mechanical, and it depends on the panel you are going, Deepak. So not every panel asks the same question. My, like, 14 members from mechanical were selected for the final round in TCS, but everyone got a different panel. So different HRs were there. There were 3 HRs, one for normal basic questions like you are okay with night shifts, were you okay with relocating, or only basic questions. One for technical HR, he will ask you the coding questions and all, and another one for your project. Your project speaks well, Deepak, and for every students. My project is the thing that got me a job. I could say for sure. They told me to explain my project on HR. It fully my course said, not even one technical questions I'm asked for. I was fully asked for my course in mechanical engineering. They will surely ask you what is your favorite subject. So one favorite subject, mostly from the final years. So since you're all final year, you should tell from the final year subjects, or most for in some cases you could tell from third year or second year something. So choose the easiest subject that you could answer anything easily. So if asked for a favorite subject, you should say that, and an area of interest, you should say that. Then your project, be well versed with your project. I was asked about my mini project and the main project. I will give you a tips. If you have not done a mini project, try to take some simple tips from your friends, like that they could have done a project, or in online study something, and try to give a mini project in your resume. It speaks well. So I've done a mini project. It's AutoCAD design. So it spoke me well, and they asked about my final year project, so I explained it. So this is my final year project. The HR was impressed actually. They liked my project. Sorry, your project. She itself said that your project idea is good, and your DDI interview good. So that's for my thesis question, and mostly from core questions I were asked, like how an engine works, difference between two-stroke and four-stroke engines, like that. So if you are from another stream like IT or AC, your core can be asked, and also some of the panels will only ask the technical questions. So everyone know OOPS concepts, right? I'll type it. OOPS concepts. So it is more important. Sorry for the typo. It's concepts. Sorry for the typo. So OOPS concepts is much important in TCS. They will work mostly on OOPS concepts. So try to be it for a final interview. You should know 20 or 30 questions is enough. The basic questions like inheritance, polymorphism, like that will be the. Be prepared with that questions in the TCS. If yes, I already said in January or February, another NQT will be conducted, and TCS will again hire higher students. So OOPS concept you should study for the TCS, and for other companies also. OOPS concepts is important. Then basic programming concepts like Fibonacci series and like simple codings like swapping of two numbers. So be good with that programmings as well. You should know how to explain the concepts. They will not, some companies will not tell you to solve it and see. They'll just ask you what is the concept between this programming. So you should be able to explain the concepts to them. So I was not asking, but one of my friend was asked Fibonacci series, and he explained it as well. Waiting for the offer letter. So be strong in your core. That's much important. So is everyone from IT or CSE? Just type your department. I should have asked you the first itself. I'm sorry. Type your department in the CSE. Okay, good. CSE. Okay, I hope everyone is from CSE department. From for a CSE department, you should be more ready for the interview. So that's what I would say, because for another departments they will may ask their core or the technical, but CSE there is no other go. They will ask both your core and technical will be same. So I'll ask more questions about it. Wait, I'll search something. Is there? It's available. Thesis training. Okay, I will share a page for you. If possible, take screenshot and share it among your groups for what are the questions asked for TCS interviews. Should be having it. Yep. It was a network delay. Sorry. Okay. Get in. Okay. So the students received me. It was our college group. So it was a question asked for BME. So see, as you can see, it's fully of the core cloning gram positive, gram negative bacteria. It's fully most of the core. And prepare a good answer for this question. Why should I hire you? So prepare a very good answer that will speak for you, and a perfect self intro. Okay, self introduction is the first question you could give a HR. So be more specific about your points and not too large or too boring like that. Give it a simple 2 to 3 minutes talk. Maybe you could. I will give you some tips to add it in your self intro. Role models. You could have said a role model about you, your strength. Don't say your weaknesses in your self intro. That's an important thing. No weaknesses. You should say, if they ask what are your strength and weakness, you could say, but you should not include any weakness in your self intro. You should give a role model. You should give a strength. My role model is Karoli Takas. I will put it here. Study about him. If possible, add him as your role models also. No, scroll. 1 second. Carolita Cox. He's my role model, so you can study about this. Why I'm saying him is that most of the people don't know about him. Most of them never heard of him. So your HR will listen to you. So who is him? So you'll start listening to you. There you can gain his or her attention. If you like say you can have a good role model. I didn't like a famous personality. If you say a famous personality, the HR will think she already would have known him. So they will not pay attention to you unless you say it in an interesting manner. So have a role model. You can have a role model that's anyone, but in the interview, if you're going to say role model, try to be a unknown person, not known by many others, but have a specific quality. About him, correlated that he's a right-hander pistol shooter, but he lost his total right hand in a grenade accident, but won 2 Olympic gold medals with his left hand, which is not his correct hand. He was a right-hander, but won Olympic gold medal in pistol shooting with his left hand. So it will be an interesting thing for an HR to listen to. Okay, he will have a like you are having a different mindset person. They will assume that you are a different mindset, you are unique from others. So these are all the things that will separate others from you. So have a good role model, say a good strength. Why should we hire you? Then see, this is what was your answer for why should we hire you? That my answer was that I said I was from a mechanical engineering student, mechanical engineering. So I know C programming, which is project is an ECE based electronics and communication engineering, right? It's an ECE based. So I have a. They said you are a mechanical engineer. Why should we hire you for a IT department? I said that was my strength because when you hire an IT engineer, IT stream the student, they will have only one knowledge, one stream knowledge. I have a 3 stream knowledge: mechanical. My project in EC, so I have EC knowledge. I'm eligible for IT company. I have IT knowledge. So I said that. And another HR asked the same question. What I said is that any programming language or any skill you want me to develop, I will develop within a month. So what would a HR need more than that? Anything you want me to learn, it's apart from my studies or any skill you want me to learn, I will learn it within a period of month. So it impressed her actually. I could see it there and that. It actually impressed. So you should prove that you are eligible. Even if you don't know programming language, they will say you don't know this programming language. What will you? You should say. You should not say that I don't. You should say I will learn. Positive words will make a great impact on the interview. Never say no in an interview. I don't know, or I will not learn like that. Some audible internet connection is unstable. So never say no in an interview. Say that I will learn something. I will learn within a quick time. I will learn in a month. So make sure you are. They make sure to prove them you are eligible. So that was the answer I gave. That I have 3 stream knowledge, and I will learn any courses within a time. So this was an see here. This is an I think questions asked for an IT student. Self intro, class 10 and 12 marks. Difference between C, C++, Python, OOPS, virtual function. So take a screenshot. Anyone take a screenshot and you can share it with your friends. If you taken, just say yes so that I can move forward to the next questions. Okay, yes, okay. Now, sorry, my network was unstable. Okay, yeah, this was the thing I wanted to share to you. These are all the questions asked for one students, and around 45 minutes her interview was happening. For me, only 30 minutes, and for some students, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, or all interview will be happening. So final year project, mini project, OOPS concepts. Study all these questions. If you are an IT, since she is from CSE department, she was asked more questions than other students because she should have known about IT more well than others. So DBMS is an important thing, and SQL. These are all important. Most of the questions are from OOPS and C++. Array linked list. So take a screenshot this. I will move up, down. These were another HR's question. Which college and city? How do you get this project? This is fully based on your projects. See, they will ask this question. Why didn't you done any mini projects? So even if you have not done any mini projects, tell them I have done this project. But you should be aware of that project. What are all the things that can be in that project? And it's a it's a normal HR. Relocation, 24-hour shifts. And you should study about the company. Any company you are attending, before going to the interview, study about the company. Who is the present CEO? Who is the first CEO? When was the company introduced? What was the thing more about that company? They will ask why you choose this company from others. If they asked the HR asked me why you choose TCS apart from other companies, what my reply is that TCS hire a more number of freshers every year. So I thought TCS believe in fresh minds. They believe in fresh ideas. So instead of other companies, if I choose TCS, they will hear my ideas much bigger. So that's what I said, and she was okay with the answer. So this was the thing for us. Then all questions will be repeating. So who are all preparing for TCS? I'm saying one thing. You want to clear the coding round, be strong in array concepts. Okay. Every question from the starting to the final question asked in TCS for all batches was based on array programs. Only array concepts were asked in TCS. No pattern printing, no more logics, nothing. Only array printing. So array concepts are only asked. If you are aiming for TCS, you should be strong in array concepts. Then I have more about me. Like the first company I attended was Core Technologies. It was in Chennai. Core Technologies. It was a good company as well. There were 4 rounds. I cleared 2 rounds and got rejected in the third round. It was my first company and my first rejection. And another thing is that I was the last one to get rejected from that company. Like in my college, there are 400 to 500 members from all departments. After the first round, only 5 were selected. For the 4 were selected for the second round, and after the second round, only 2 were selected, and in the third round, both of them were rejected. So what they asked is that to print a prime number, you should you can even think is that even a tough question? No, it's not a tough question, but it was my first interview, and I was so nervous in that, so I didn't get the output for that coding. So they said I'm not selected. So it was my first rejection for technologies. After that, I have tried so many companies. I got rejected also in like 4 to 5 companies, and recently I got TCS. So why I'm saying that is that rejection is, it doesn't matter. Many companies may reject you, but what carries you away is your self confidence. How many times you fall on your feet, you should get up. You should not stay. Like they will say in a boxing ring, defeat is not declared when you touch the ground. It is declared when you refuse to get up. So it is same as your life too. Whenever you are rejected, think that what mistake you have done, correct it in the next time, give your best in the next time. So that's what you should do. Don't compromise yourself that you are not eligible. Even I did that for a long time. I thought I was not eligible. Later I discovered that we should develop ourselves. That's the thing. Update yourself, learn new things every day. So that's what I did to getting TCS. I put a lot of hard work for TCS, really. So I got a mail. My friends got mail 4 days before me. I waited for 4 days. It was a long wait, and finally I got the TCS. So try it. If you give hard work for a company, you will definitely attain it. So that's my advice for you. So that's all. I hope I covered everything. I wanted to share my experience. I shared my experience to you, and I'm thinking I'm taught coding good as well. So if uh, I didn't did anything good, I ask sorry for the time. So that's it. I hope we can wind up the class. If you have any questions or feedbacks, you could ask now. Yeah, hello.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex, for giving
Yeah,
your
thank you.
such a kind of, I can say, very informative session. I think all
Okay.
students have already know your experience. Thanks for even share your experience. So I'd
Yes.
like to tell you that you have quite good knowledge about the coding.
Okay.
Quite of not in coding department, I can say CSCIT. So
Yes.
thanks for giving you such knowledge to our
Thank you.
student.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anyone have any questions regarding this session? You can ask. Otherwise, you can leave. And one more thing that we have another session for tomorrow. Okay, everyone. Have
Okay,
you
ma'am.
any questions?
One thing. I'm
Yeah.
typing my number in the chat box.
Okay. Okay.
I type my
If there are any query, you can also ask to Alex. You can contact to Alex.
Yes, I have typed my number. Any doubts you can ask me. And Kirtan Pradham, I never mind, my friend. You can take the answers. You can have a best answers too. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. It's been really a wonderful session.
Yeah.
Very good friends, students.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Ma'am.
you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.